Hey, so I was just watching a video about a girl who got that dermal roll thing done, except like she did it at a dermatologist's office and like not with a derma roller that you would buy on Amazon. But yeah, I don't know why this red spot's there. Like I wiped off jelly off my face and that red spot is still kind of there and it's kind of scaring me because sometimes my skin would have these like random red spots on my face. They usually disappear within like a day or two, but like sometimes my skin would get like red patches and I don't quite understand why, but whatever. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about my skin and yeah, because I've had oh yeah, I mean my skin is not bad, but it's not good either. I mean my complexion is better, but it's not the best. But I mean, seeing me from this, my skin looks pretty good, right? But I mean, I guess I'll show you what my skin looks like right now. Okay, so here, I mean, you can clearly see some acne scars. It's not too terrible. It was way worse back in like this past summer 2017. And yeah, and then this side, I mean, got that red spot for whatever reason, but it'll go away hopefully. Um, yeah, so my skin doesn't really look bad at all. It's healing quite well, and I'm really happy with how far I've come in terms with my skin. I'll insert some pictures here because I did take pictures of during when I was breaking out. So yeah, I'll just insert these pictures here. And I primarily had it on the right side of my face, and it was terrible. It was not only was it visually like I don't know what you would call it, ruining my confidence, but it also actually physically hurt. It would sometimes itch really bad or throb depending on how deep it was or how big it was. There's people who had it worse than I did, but for me this was terrible. This really ruined my confidence, and for the first time in my life I actually felt pretty ugly. Like I felt disgusting, and I felt like, cuz I journal like pretty much every day, and I don't like going back to those journals where from the summer of 2017, because all I would write about is just how bad my acne is and how like it it just was ruining my confidence and how ugly I felt, and it was just not a good time. I guess I'm I don't know if I regret it or not. Like, it was not something in my control because I was eating well. I don't consume dairy or red meat, so I'm not really sure why I would break out, because usually dairy, if anything, would cause breakouts, or so I read online. So I don't quite understand why that is. And um, I also washed my face twice a day. I say washed because I only wash my face once a day now, and I wash it at night just because my skin is sensitive, and I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel better washing my face once a day. Probably when I go to Korea, I'll probably wash it twice a day because I hear it's just more polluted, so probably wash my face twice a day there, but for now I'm washing my face only once, and that's at night before I go to bed. I also never allow my face to touch the pillow, like, or my cheeks, because that's usually where I broke out, or break out still to this day. I mean, I don't like break out a lot. Sometimes I get a red spot here, sometimes I get like a little pimple here and there, but it's not anything big. Yeah, and yeah, to this day I still don't let my face touch the pillow, because I'm afraid that I'm going to somehow break out. Like, it's, I don't know, I guess that fear kind of still lingers to this day. And I also eat pretty healthy. I exercise because, I mean, my job was a laborious job, so I was moving. I wasn't just sitting on my ass all day. And I don't know, it was just so strange. I could not figure out for the life of me why I was breaking out that bad. And I could not go 3 days without having a new pimple on my face. It was that bad. And it was, yeah. it was just torture for me, especially at work, because people could see it, and I felt, yeah, I just felt really ugly. And and like, I never felt ugly in my life until that time, I guess. um so yeah, at the end of the summer, I finally went to a dermatologist, and I held off for so long because I was very wary about dermatologists, because I went to a dermatologist more than once about my skin, and I felt like it didn't really help with anything. But this time I felt it was just a last resort. So I finally went to a dermatologist, and then my dermatologist suggested two things to me for my skin, and one of them was birth control, the other was Accutane. And I didn't feel like my skin was severe enough for Accutane, so I decided to go with birth control. And I thought, maybe my skin is breaking out because of hormones. Like, I don't know, like, even though it's not in the area that hormonal acne happens, because it was just on my cheeks, I thought, maybe that would work, whatever. Let's just give it a shot. So I went back to school and I started taking birth control, and I still take birth control today, like to this day. So with that, when I first started taking it, I randomly broke out on like my forehead, which I never really break out on my forehead, and like a little bit over here on my cheeks. And yeah, and I was just, I don't know, but that went away eventually. Now I still kind of have, sometimes like red marks would appear on my face, like this one, and they would just, sometimes it would be itchy, sometimes not, and they usually would go away within like a day or two. And I still kind of have this. I don't know why that is, but I mean, it's not really causing any harm to me. I'm not getting, breakouts per se. But so I really don't mind the red spots that appear on my face every once in a while. And since then, my skin has gotten way better. I stopped breaking out, and my scars have been healing so well. And I have a skin routine that's semi-complex, if that makes sense. And my skincare routine, I do this once a day at night, and half the products are Korean, and half the products are just what I find at Walgreens and all that. So my skin cleanser is actually Skin Food's Egg Pore Foam. It looks like this, and you can actually get this at Ulta for like, it's quite expensive. It's like $11 or $13, I forget, but yeah, it's quite expensive, but it works for me personally because it's sensitive to your skin, and I have very sensitive skin. I can't use that scrub stuff. I have to use some kind of cream, otherwise, my skin gets really blah. Yeah, so this works for me pretty well. I also used in the past Aveeno, and Aveeno works just fine with me too. So I can switch literally back and forth with this and Aveeno, and I will be just fine. So, and then after cleansing my face, I tone my face with witch hazel, and this, it's weird because like I started using it and then I stopped because like it was making my skin like really like irritated, but then I started using it again, and it's pretty good, I would say. I'm not too harsh with my face in terms of toner. Sometimes I would like scrub my face with toner, but now I'm a little bit more gentle because yeah, so yeah, because I don't like to be too harsh on my face, because my face is very sensitive. I have very sensitive skin. And then after that, after I let that dry down, I go in with aloe vera. And this was after I watched a YouTuber who had pretty severe acne use aloe vera and to her skin every night, and it really helped her with her skin. And I had this sitting around because it's Skin Food, It's a Korean brand. And I got this for $8 at Ulta. It's pretty cheap, and you get a lot in here. I bought this this past summer, and I have slightly over half left. So it lasts a pretty long time. And I'm glad that Ulta has Korean skincare, because Korean skincare really is awesome. Like, it's fantastic. So yeah. And then I actually didn't add a moisturizer until recently, because my skin can kind of go back and forth between being really dry and being really oily. And I would say my skin is naturally oily, but because it's so sensitive, the moisture can be sucked out because winters are cold and bitter and dry. So yeah, and my skin, especially my cheeks, I could yawn and I could literally feel how dry my skin is. That's how dry my skin is. Yeah. So I decided to get Aveeno Active Natural Smart Essential Daily Nourishing Moisturizer with sunscreen, and it has vitamin A, C, and E, which is pretty fantastic. And I was actually going to get another kind, but that was more expensive, so I went with the cheaper one. And this works just fine. It doesn't make